here with Richard Wigglesworth to go through the player profiling on the ILG Elite Sports app. We're just going to start running through how my profile works for you, what you can get from that regarding notes, documents and preparation. So we'll just start clicking here on my profile. And we can see the details, obviously email, phone, passport expiry if needed, date of birth. Then we go into the notes section. So Richard, you would use this for sort of maybe keeping some of your own notes in team meetings?
Yeah,
so games.
Yeah, so I'll use this for notes week to week, game by game, but also reminders for myself that can be set by the coaches for any part of my game that we want to improve on. There'll be something there that I see regularly. But yeah, I generally use it week to week in terms of note taking and anything that I need to see all the time. With it being in my profile, then I get to see this almost on a daily basis.
And also, if you've got a game coming up, you might want to put notes against certain clips in Pro Review and then link that back to the notes.
Yeah, so again, because I see the notes all the time, anything that I do see in Pro Review in terms of analysis of opposition or on my own game after the weekend, I will clip it straight back into my notes so that I don't miss it or forget it.
And then we've obviously got my documents and match preparation, which I know at Saracens this is used very heavily, isn't it, on a day-to-day basis before games?
Yeah, so everything is put on here. So all our team meetings are recorded and put on here. So if you miss anything, then you can go back and watch them again. Our itinerary for the weekend, so what time we've got to meet, all the details of the hotel we're staying in if we're playing away, all these sorts of things, all the sort of admin points of view are all on here as well as all our general plays. We have all our moves from not just the week, but from any week in terms of all our calling system, all the analysis on our opposition from, again, not just the week coming up, but all the weeks previously, so we're as well informed as possible. And it's really a go-to for me throughout the week, but the day before and the morning of the game as a last-minute checklist of do I know everything as well as I need to. This is where I am just before I get ready to play, really.
Okay, so we're going to notifications and messaging. So, Richard, you'd get a notification about certain clips that you need to watch during the week, or Pro Review games that are up, or just general updates during the week. And messages is your messages, which are just between the players or coaches between you.
Yeah, so I'll get the odd message off a coach saying, "Look at this. What do you think of this?" before I get to training on a Monday or a Tuesday morning, so that I've got some stuff to discuss with him rather than me getting blindsided by anything. And the notifications is for everyone, really. It's for notifications of when things go on, so a new game goes on or something they specifically want us to watch, or the timing of training's changed. Everything's done like this through the app now, so notification flashes up on my phone or my iPad. You click straight on it, it takes you exactly to what they want you to see. So again, there's no excuses for not being where you need to be or watching what you need to watch.
We also had a performance wall, which has been useful with Saracens. I think it's named the Wolf Wall there, and this will give them just details of what's coming up, maybe motivational videos or things that's happened during the club during the week. But as you get nearer game time, this will be more clips around players and opposition and opponents in there. Wellbeing is just for obviously day-to-day well-being. These can be drop-down sliders, whether the club would like the player to fill that in.
You've used this with England, right?
Yeah, it's a big deal with England in terms of how we feel day to day, how sore your sleep patterns, and all that will go into eventually changing your training program if needed.
And this is just the contacts area, so the club's got easy access to their numbers, emails and details of everyone within the club. And then we've got one of the main parts of the app is like the hub area for the team. So Richard, you'd have all your match preparation, your admin, medical, nutrition, everything that you need during that.
Yeah, anything you want to know about the club is in this folder. So it's got all your documents that you've made, but obviously all the recently uploaded stuff. So anything new that's come on is all filtered in chronological order, so easy to find for you. And also all the nutrition, all the stuff that they put on for you long term is kept in here, so you're never short of information. So you can really take it as far as you want to take it as a club. You put as much info or as little as you want, but from a player's point of view, the more the better, because it's stored, it's easy access. You might not need anything from this folder for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, but there is a time that you do, and it's more than useful to have.
And it's nice for new players coming to the club. Obviously, a lot of international players come over, and it's obviously got dentists and just general stuff that helps with the club and new players coming in and knowing where everything is around in that area.
Yeah, I remember turning up at Saracens before we had any of this app, and I was pestering the coaches for the moves and where do I need to go to do this. And so from rugby, I wanted to know exactly how we play and the calling system, which all new players have now got. So you're ahead of the game coming into first day of training. It's not nothing's as new as it could be. And again, like I say, also like doctors and anything day to day, schools, everything's put on this app for us. So we have a wealth of knowledge from the minute you're given the app, really.
So we're just now in pro review, and we've selected the Saracens match 30th of January, and we've got Richard here in player and event. So this is really important. So with the analysis side, Richard can just click on the player events, find his clips, and just look through them. And this obviously saves you quite a bit of time, Rich.
This is the first thing I do after a game. Is we'll get a notification again that the game's online, and I'll click on this and I'll look at all my individual clips first to analyse what I've done and what I could do better. But also we'll always go through the clips with the coach on a Monday morning, so it gives me something to talk about when I'm there. So I'll do this, and then I'll generally maybe watch a half or two of the game using the features of we've got a split screen or a full screen option that we can watch in this pro review. We've got fast forward, we've got slow motion.
So you've got messaging, haven't you? So we can do a message at the top if you wanted to.
Yeah, so if there is anything that I flag up regarding me or something I've seen that I'd like one of the coaches or even one of the players to see, then it's easy for me to have that done before I get to training on a Monday, and we're not losing time discussing things or explaining why before we get there. So this is the bit of the app that I use the most. This is the bit that I think is the best part. Is you get to watching minute detail of the game. This is the biggest difference in. I played the game the last sort of 10 years. This is the biggest single difference I think in the game. It's the amount of analysis that you do, but now the analysis that can be done at home. You used to have to all sit around computers after training. People have got stuff to do. People have got families. You can now go home, do it in your own time, and let each other know what you've done, how you've done it before you even get there on a training the next morning.
One of the big bits we're going to show you now is obviously we're going to go on to playlists. This isn't quite finished yet, but I know you're giving us some help today, but we think this is going to speed things up a bit more with dynamic playlists, creating your own static ones, and maybe joining them up with different backs and forwards and making it easier.
Yeah, so you're going to be able to have groups of players. So for us, an easy thing would be doing forwards and backs, and we have separate meetings. So you could have a backs group that creates playlists of opposition first phase moves or whatever you want really. But for myself, I'd be able to create a static playlist of the things I do well or the things I do poorly, and get some trends and keep them in a file somewhere so that I've got reference to what I do well and what I don't do so well. And from the dynamic point of view, you would be able to realise what you're watching a lot of, and you'd be able to create something that a playlist that drops down, that automatically uploads what you're used to watching. So if I'm always watching a certain part of the game, the opposition possession or opposition first phase moves, I'd be able to create this dynamic playlist. It'd do it all for me, so it'd take all the legwork out of searching through games and hours of footage to clip it down into just the relevant bit that I need. I'd also be able to share that with groups of one or two, or to the coaches, or to the whole team. So, a game changer.
Right, so we're going to have a look at the playlists on Pro Review and just give you an idea of how this is going to work going forward. This is on the laptop and Mac app version, and then we're going to bring this through to iPad and iPhone in the next few months. So, from Richard's point of view here, we can see we've got a game here, Leicester Tigers. We can see the players and events, and this is a dynamic list. So basically, every time Leicester Tigers have another counter-attack, then it will go into this list automatically, and saves Richard a lot of time, and also he can go back through games in the past against that Leicester have had with a counter-attack.
Yes, this is what I was talking about, how simple it is for me. So if my part of the team meeting this week would be about Leicester's counter-attack, I would have simply put the 2 tags in, and it would create this for me. So in this case, we're playing Leicester this weekend, so I'd want to know how they counter-attack and what they do. This playlist enables me to look at all their recent games and how they do it, and from there I would pick out examples of what I want to show from this. So it takes all the legwork out of it for me early on, and I can just get on with analysing and looking what I need to do.
So this is a dynamic list, but we could also create a static playlist. So if we have a look at the static side.
So when you're making a static playlist, what you simply have to do is click the different tags that you like, take a few of these, add them to a playlist. We've already got one saved for clips. Add those. They're now sitting in that playlist, and obviously you can watch those. And makes it really easy for you to put certain clips together, I guess, if you were sharing those in meetings.
Yeah, and also for me to keep long term as well. If I say the first thing I do after a game is just watch all my clips. If I'm continue adding to a static playlist, to say it could be good passes, bad passes, good kicks, bad kicks, I can separate it as many times as I want, and every time I see a clip that I think is going to be useful to me, either that week or in the future, I'll just simply add it to that static playlist, and then I've got that as a reference point moving forward.
So you could go back through sort of a whole season of clips,
yeah,
in quite a quick way. Then.
Yeah, and know, have I progressed as my standard slips? It would just be a really easy reference point instead of it being a real feel thing of, oh, have I got better or what's happened? You've got all the information right there, and as I say, easily looked at.
So this is the new 4 screens feature. Obviously, if I start playing this, you can see they run in time. With this, you can pop in and out of the different views, and make this full screen as well. So on a big Mac like this, you can get a real good view of all the different angles. I suppose it's something different players look at different views.
Yeah, this is great for us from an analysis point of view, because we really like this from the back screen to see our spacing and our width in our attack and defence. And if you can combine that with what's going on near the ball, you start to be able to realise what people are actually looking at and seeing, changing the analysis of how much you can do and what you can see, and putting yourself in other players' shoes as well, and what's he seen and what's gone on inside him, and it's taking a lot of the guesswork out of the analysis, and also massively saving on time if you've got this full screen view instead of going through each one individually and trying to write down, well, where did I see that and what was he thinking. You can really go through it in a bit of detail at the time.
Yeah, and obviously for us, moving forward, we can add this sort of thing into playlists as well, so you can see the different tags and different areas really, like you said, quickly.
Yeah.
And from in different angles.
No, it's a great tool for this. It's at the moment most of the TV games are covered from 4 points of view, but even if it's not on TV, there's at least a 2 view that we've got, so from behind and close up. So it's getting to the point where all bases are covered, all the time.